Welcome back. Hi. We today were chatting before we went live, and we just think it's really important for us that we circle back, corporate lingo, we circle back to the beginning so we can then better understand where we are now and our mission, what this community is really about, and how you can be a part of this movement, because it deeply matters to each of us, so much so that, trust me, y'all, we really had conversation like, do we continue this podcast? Do we not? We both sit with our own internal stuff. It would have been easier to not, of course. It just would have been easier to not. And when we both consistently connect to deep into our hearts why this podcast was birthed in the first place, it's our mission, which is to be the bridge. So I think the logo, as you can see, is ST. We'll go back, right? It's Stacy's first two initials, my last two initials. The I represents a lighthouse, which is the light to support everyone to come across the bridge of difficult conversations, whether it's in friendships, relationships, the corporate space, spiritual space. It's literally the bridge to have these really tough conversations that ultimately lead to hearts opening, perspective shifting,
Yeah.
a whole slew of possibility.
Yeah. It really is about being the bridge, because we get to model that. And as we were talking before we hit record, it's not always easy. It's not always simple, but that is the movement. That is the mission, is to be the bridge and let all of our doing flow from that state of being. It's like we get to be the bridge to each other across worlds, across differences, across barriers, across beliefs. There's always a bridge to be built. There's just always a bridge to be built. And we get to have the difficult and noble task that we've given ourselves of modeling what that bridge can be like and encouraging everyone else to build bridges, to be a bridge. So it's important to us that we stay centered and focused on that movement and that mission. And that's why we said yes to the next installment of Still. Because as Jill said, it could have been simple for us to go, hey, you have a very abundant life. I have a very abundant life. We have lots of things going on. Let's just give this a rest for a while. Could have been simple. And that's not in alignment with our individual purposes on our lives and the callings on our lives, and not collectively where we are. This whole podcast got birthed from what we thought was a retreat, a one-time thing. We're going to host a retreat for people to come and get back, like rewilding and like all this stuff. And she still is there. She's still there. That's coming. So stay tuned for details on that. But bigger, overarching mission was, no, you get to be the bridge and you get to walk this walk, and you get to talk about not just, oh, it's flowers and daisies and unicorns and just come together. And like, yeah, there are those moments. But most of the time, we're going to be stepping across the bridge like, what the hell? What are we here doing? What are we talking about? How could we be so alike and so different? How could we be worlds apart on things and completely in sync and still be together and still make the decision and the choice? And I think that's the point of us bringing this up today, is that it is a choice. I am choosing to be in relationship. And so that means I'm choosing to always find a way to be the bridge, not bypassing all the stuff that's going on and all the differences, because that's one way to do it. And that's not our way, but confronting it and going, this is hard. This is really difficult. I have this feeling about what I really want to say to you. And I get it. Jill and I both have done years and years and years of work to learn practices and techniques and tools and resources, for our nervous systems and for safety and for all of that. And even if we hadn't, it would still start with a choice. Do I choose to be in a relationship with you? Do I choose, if I say one of my core values is sisterhood or connection or friendship. Do I choose to stand in that space, or do I choose isolation and separation? I don't like the illusion of separation, because it is an illusion, because we are all connected some kind of way, right?
Mm,
So I choose.
yeah.
I choose the hard path. I choose the path that has not been paved yet. And so we get to figure that out together. And we mess it up with each other, and we'll continue to mess it up with each other. We'll probably mess it up with you guys. And that's just the way it's going to be. But do you choose to stay in relationship even when there's conflict, even when there's difference, even when there's a challenge? That is the mission we're on, is to help people
Yeah.
understand the importance of choosing it. Choose it first.
And I think then after the choice is the action steps and
Yeah.
staying true to yourself, because there are going to be lots of things that come up within family, within working environments.
Yes.
And, I just recently had one of these where because I sit on our DEI culture council, and, we sent out this email that was sent out, that we shared that included an image, and I was sitting with it, and I noticed, because I'll just be very honest, right? Things happen, and time is, it's quick. It's quick. You just are making decisions. It's, yes, that's fine. Move forward, move forward. Well, in this choice, we also have the choice to go back on something that maybe we once said okay to. We have the choice to go back and be like, actually, I took a pause. I took some breaths with this, and I think we need to flag this and raise this up as maybe this image, the way in which it was shared, although no ill intent, maybe this could not be fully inclusive. Maybe this could, just raise the question around it. I think in that moment, I realize, and bringing forward to all of you here is, can you take the step just to start building the bridge? Because what happened after I literally brought this up to, bringing it back after it was already shared, what happened is change, actually, in this instance. And now there is a guardrail put in place for communication that goes out to team from this council. And so I guess I'm giving that example just to maybe spark something that is going on in your life, within your workplace or your family, of it's okay to also go back on something that maybe slid through, and then it's sitting in your gut like, damn, something's just not right on that. And I mean, Stacey, I think you and I have done that too. Like, because when we're in dialogue, we can move really, really fast. And then I'll pause and I'll be like, hold up, actually, which this one always comes back to me, but it's was the reference of cowboys and like the rodeo.
Yeah.
And then there's been other ones inside our dialogue with hair. And there's just been lots of things where in our normal conversation, Stacey and we move fast. We're friends. We're best friends. So like the conversation is quick, and we have time to also take pause and then go back. Sometimes it's quicker than others to then go back and be like, hold up, actually, are we good? Like, do we need to dissect this? Do we need to build a bridge around this? And that's what we're doing here. That will forever be the intention.
Right? That's it. That's the growth spot. And that's the intention, is to help you find your growth spot. Because for someone like me, raising my hand, this is still a growth spot for me. When stuff is off, my default, I've always been like a light switch. We're either on or off. I'm all the way in with you. It's all good. I will ride dawn for you, like all the things, or I'm completely not. Like, just not with bad intentions or anything like that, not wishing ill will, but just, you don't exist in my world. And I move that way. Like, I'm not even thinking about you or your life or anything. Like, you're just, I'm done. I'm finished. Like, that's it. not the best way for me to show up in the world, especially with
It's that only
my
child, y'all.
purpose.
It's that
It's the only child, but I'm going to tell you, it's that father's side. It's my daddy's side. That's how they move. That's how they operate. It's like, we're good or we're not.
and we love you, Daddy.
Love
Number
you,
one fan.
daddy.
We need to
But that can be hard.
we gonna get you some gear.
We're getting
We
daddy
get
some
you
gear. He is not going to
Y'all
wear it.
see our new fresh
We got some still gear, y'all.
shirts.
Wait till you see it. Oh my gosh. This is a preview of what it's to come. But yeah, that is a reminder of that's the growth spot. But that's the thing. It's the growth spot. That's the whole point of this. Like, can you stretch your comfort zone so that you're always moving into a growth space? Because it could be very easy for all of us to say, man, I'm done. I'm not about to be a bridge, like whatever, and walk away. And it might feel good in that moment, but can you actually summon up whatever it takes for you? Courage, vulnerability, risk tolerance, whatever it is, to come back and say, you know what? That didn't feel good, that exchange we had, or something just didn't sit right with me. I want to have a redo. Can we have that? Can we open this back up? And be prepared that the person might be like, no. Okay. But the more you can do that, the more you exercise and build that muscle to be able to do it in other places that will mean something, that may yield different results potentially. But that's the whole point. Can we be the bridge? And if the answer is yes, then you make the commitment and you just say, yes, I choose to be the bridge. Like in a marriage, every day we get up and I'm still this man's wife. I have to consciously and intentionally choose. I choose you. I choose to be committed to you. I choose to be what is needed and not what's convenient for me. I choose that. And that's not always easy. And
It's not.
it is my joy to do it, to be it. Because it's part of my calling. It's part of my purpose to be this man's wife. So,
Well, I'll tell you what too, Stacey, is it feels better on the other side. So
yeah.
trust. You build the bridge, you start walking over it, you get over the bridges. I mean, the amount of hard, and when we say bridge, we're talking about taking a stand for something and having the hard conversations.
Yeah.
The amount of bridges that Stacey and I have walked over there's just been a lot. And again, we want this for you too. So we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Truly. Reach out, let us know, because we want to celebrate you in having those hard conversations. Even if they don't go how the expectation of what you think and how they should go, what matters is you're making the choice to have them.
Yes.
Because we need a lot more of that in our world right now. And something that Stacey and I are doing this year, this round of episodes, because we're not breaking this down to seasons, y'all. So it's just a continuous flow
just another
of episodes.
installment.
So we're giving you all a really, honestly, epic. I'm so thrilled about the opportunity to really be the lighthouse and have a much closer connection to Stacey and I through what we are calling our lighthouse listeners. And I think it's funny not funny, just aligned that I'm wearing our gear today. So you can all see the eye. So it's like our vision of this mission is to have as many lighthouses across the globe, so we all just can see the little flecks of light as we all just continue to have these conversations, as we continue to show up in our lives, and we're building the bridges. So that's why we created Lighthouse Listeners. You can find this over on our Patreon community. And basically, this is Stacey and I's way of pouring into you with all that we have gained, gathered, learned, our years. I mean, combined, we're probably at 30
decades,
over 30, 40 years of teachings and tools. And we want you to have those in a very easy to access. And what's most important to us is that you can take the tool and literally go use it. This isn't something that's going to require I need time to sit with this.
Mm-mm. You don't need a
So
12-week
if you are
course
one of our light,
for this stuff.
you don't need that. If you are one of our Lighthouse listeners, though, you will be getting extra tidbits throughout the month, different behind the scenes things, but ultimately practices, tools, and tips where we really dial it in
Yeah,
from what we're sharing during the episode. So then you can go and implement in your life.
absolutely. We
And
want you to
then the
have
other
that
option we
access.
have to yeah, the other option we have to support our mission is um our Sisters of Still. And so this is truly, we will just fill your heart if you want to become a Sister of Still, because this is really just the way that is supporting us to continue us doing what we're doing. And we're really, I think this is really yummy. I think we're doing, this
It's
is just,
so
it feels
yummy.
so good.
It's so yummy. I'm
So,
telling you, the people I've even shared with that, hey, this is what we're doing in this next installment, they are like, where do I sign up? Because that's what I've been wanting. Thank you for giving us like the teaser of things in your first installment. And now I get to know how to put stuff into practice. This is what people have been asking us for. And so it is our pleasure. It is our joy to do it and make it so accessible for you to have it. Because, like Jill said, this is decades and decades and decades of our learnings and teachings and trainings and retreats and intensives and all of this. So, yes, time and energy and effort and probably hundreds of thousands of dollars between the two of us for sure.
hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
dollars
Yeah. And
on our
we're like,
growth.
you ain't got
And
to do all
Stacy's
that.
about to be Dr. Stacy. She's about to be Dr. Stacy, so we about to have a PhD up in the house
Yeah.
that you
Yeah,
can
you are.
be connected to.
For sure.
Uh, yeah, so I think we'll keep to our promise on this. This one is really short and sweet because there's not much else to say other than maybe take some time and reflect, as if you're listening to us while you're driving to
Yeah.
work maybe, or going to pick up the kids. Wow, where did you miss the mark? Where did you hit the mark of starting to build that bridge and having the tough conversations? And what are you committed to in this moment?
Right. How can you show up and be the bridge somewhere in your life, somewhere where you have passion and maybe you haven't shown up yet? How can you go show up and be a bridge, be a connector, be the lighthouse, bringing people to the bridge?
Mm. And we'll just be here waiting for you. Well, we love you all. Thank you for being here. As always, please like, share, comment. It really supports us in reaching new folks. Same time, same place next week at 11:11 a.m. every Wednesday, wherever you love to listen. And if you enjoy watching the show, check us out over on YouTube, because I mean, it adds a little more flavor, if
It
you know what
does.
I'm saying.
It does.
We love y'all. See you next week.
Love you. Bye.